So we're now up to step 5 in the Vito design pattern sample catalog. This is a sample catalog entry for the hypothetical Vito design pattern. It's a sample design pattern that shows you how to create your own design pattern and get it accepted by the design pattern community. As we've been saying, there's 10 different steps of the design pattern catalogs, and this is number 5. The Vito design pattern is going to be, you need an entry for number 5, which is the participation entry. In the participation entry, you list the classes and objects that participate in the design pattern. So the classes, objects, interfaces, whatever other programming structures you have that participate in the design pattern are listed here. This is the participation stage. Participants. This is the section in which you list the participants. This is item number 5 in a design patterns catalog entry, the participants. Let's take a look again at the schematic showing how this hypothetical design pattern works. You have client code, which wants to check for a Vito. And this client code checks for a Vito by passing a message through various links. Each of these links can veto the message, and at the end you process the results. So you need a participant, which is the client code, obviously. You need these links, and to make sure the links operate correctly, you might as well put in an interface as well, a link interface that implements a method that you want these links to implement. So you have client code, you have an interface for each link, and then you have the link classes or objects. So those are the participants here, and here is a list, the way you might list them in the actual catalog submission of your design pattern, you're trying to get accepted by the online community. So the link interface might be a participant, and it lists the methods you want each link in the Vito chain to implement. So this might be a go method or a check method or whatever. In any case, it's a link interface to keep each link in the chain consistent. Link objects, this is another participant. These represent links in the chain. Each link in the chain represents an object that can veto the request being sent through the chain. So this is another participant in the design pattern, the Vito design pattern. First was link interface, then the link objects which implement that interface, and you have multiple link objects, and finally there's the client code. The client code is what sends the request to the first link of the chain, which sends it on to the next link, and so on, and the result is sent back to the client code. So these are the participants. You also have a message that's being sent from link to link. In this example, that message will be very simple, not an object, but for example, if you're going to be sending a message that is an actual object, you might want to include that in this list of participants. In our case, this message is going to be very simple. We're not going to include that in the list of participants, but if you have a more advanced example and you have an object being sent from link to link, for example, you would include that in the list of participants. Our participants are link interface, the link objects, and the actual client code that makes use of the Vito chain. Okay, so those are the participants in our case, and that is step number 5, listing the participants. In the next step, number 6, we're going to see how the participants actually interact with each other, but in this step number 5, you just list the participants, and that's what we've done. So that's step number 5.